My name is Dan Schmitt, and this is Team Chicago Challenge. We're in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're at Graceland, but we're not here to be at Graceland. We're going to Memphis Motorsport Park for the 4-hour National Endurance with Western Eastern Road Race Association. So we're going to be checking out the 4-hour event this week, and next week we'll be looking at some of the sprint races. So let's go check out some of the racing action. Wait a second, I'm going to go see if Priscilla's inside.
Well, I wasn't going to wait in line at the mansion to see Priscilla, but I'll tell you, she'd be well worth waiting for. But we had to get over to Memphis Motorsport Park for the WERA National Championship.
Row 16 is the team Chicago. Row 17
lined up 40 teams will start this race. The number of teams is dependent on the size of the racetrack, and 40 teams is about the safest amount of teams that you could ride on this track. Memphis Motorsport Park is a drag strip. We wait for the start. And they're off for the 4-hour National Endurance at Memphis Motorsport Park. First 3 corners on this track are really nice. High speed, turn 1. Turn 2 tightens up a little bit, but you can stay on the gas. Turn 3, you still stay on the gas. But here they throw in this little jigsaw, or they call it the M. And I just think they're 3 stupid turns. I think it could be more creative, especially when you look out there and see how much more land they have. Now they call this turn the bus stop because it's a 90 degree. You can't see it from up here. It's a dead stop to the right. Check that, to the left and then to the right. And now this area leading on to the front straightaway has been modified this year. This is something I suggested the last time I was here in 1989. And 7 years later, they did what I suggested back then. But it's hay bales and guardrails through that last corner. We call it the tunnel corner, and it's more like the subway corner. You look across, up front, Team Pearl. Team Pearl's on 1100 Suzuki. And I'll tell you, it's really nice to see a team giving Team Suzuki Endurance a run for their money. There hasn't been this much excitement with WERA, Western Eastern Road Race Association National Series, since the human race team beat Team Suzuki and won the championship about 7 years ago, and they were on a 1000 Yamaha, so you had the 2 brands were battling out, Yamaha, Suzuki. Both of these bikes are Suzuki's. And they're both running in heavyweight super bike. Swing over, and here comes Dave on the Team Chicago. Yamaha Dealers, Yamaha, 4 and 6 prepared, Vance and Leathers. YZF 600 Yamaha. This is our 4th endurance race, and this is Dave's first time at Memphis, and we had a 30-minute practice to share between us after driving all night, 10 hours. It was 10 hours from Chicago to Memphis. So Dave had about 5 laps of practice, and I got about 5 laps of practice, so it's going to take us a little time to get up to speed, because for the endurance team, they only give you 1 30-minute practice. And it's really not quite enough to come to a track unseen. It's Team Bear 147 on a 600 cow, just snuck by, but these guys were here on Friday for the practice as Dave heads into the tunnel corner. But it's really like being in a subway. The walls are so close. don't have much room for mistake, but front straightaway is your normal drag strip. At least we're avoiding the skid patch. So we swing back over. It looks like Team Suzuki has now moved ahead of Team Pearl, and Team H&H with Brian Lance on it slipped past Team Pearl also. Team Pearl comes back. Brian Lance, who used to live in Chicago, is now moving down to Georgia. He's one of the go-fast guys. I remember him when he was racing mini bikes out at Grattan Raceway, and he's really getting to be one of the fast guys of the WERA National Series. They head down this front straightaway. Tell you, it's 2 downshifts here or 1 downshift, and some of these guys are not even touching the brake. This is a fast sweeping corner. It was a nice corner. The traction was great. In fact, the traction was really good and really starting to eat up the tires. I had a chance to talk to the group of guys that are pitted right next to us, and they're from Chicago. So we're going to go to that interview right now with a couple rookie endurance riders, but Team Chicago's rookie endurance riders too.
All the way down here in Memphis, I run into 2 guys from Chicago. This is Jay Gugas and Phil Young, and you're riding almost a stock Kawasaki.
It is.
And you said to me that it's sort of your throwaway bike. And the partner you're riding with is from Texas, and he tells me that when you go to Texas, you ride his bike.
Yeah.
And you guys ran Grattan, you're running this, and what other endurances have you ran this year?
Mostly with the CMRA out of Texas. We're both club members down there. That's where we started. We do most of our riding there. Only recently we started with the National Endurance. It's just to kind of get into it. It is fun. The people, the riders, are all a great bunch of people to work with, so it's great for us. We enjoy it. It's good track time too.
Okay, so you have intention of doing more endurances next year?
Definitely. We'd like to. Of course, you know, we're running on a budget, but it's coming out pretty good.
Right.
We're doing all right, so we'd hope to chase it a little more.
Okay, now you've got an injured foot, so you ride with this endurance team too? Is
Yeah,
that the
I hope
plan?
to start. Yeah, in a couple of weeks this is coming off, and I'm going to be with their team, so I'm hoping to. Yeah.
Okay. What do you like about the endurance compared to sprint races?
I think probably everybody tells you the same thing. It's more bang for the buck. The track fees and the lap time, it's really worth it. Plus, this is the other thing, it gives you the experience that you need to be good in the sprints.
Right.
So I think that's the big part of the big thrill of the endurance.
Okay, now did you run any endurance that?
No, I haven't run an endurance
You've
yet.
never run one?
No.
All right, so you've run, what racetracks have you raced already?
Just Oak Hill with those guys down in Texas.
Down in Texas?
Yeah,
So
right.
you haven't been to Blackhawk or
No,
Grattan?
none of those things. I just got into it. I just started riding bikes a little while ago, and I'm
Okay.
getting into racing. I kind of like it. So.
Yeah. No, it's a gas. Okay, well, we'll be watching you on the track.
We come back for more racing action, and there's a red flag out. Got a bike down. See, now we get the restart, and I'm riding the bike now. I'm riding the Team Chicago Yamaha Dealers YZF 600 Yamaha. This restart, we had to start from the second wave. There's a 2-wave start, and they gridded them according to how they were in the beginning. But at the 1 hour, the results were Team Suzuki was first, Ohio Superbike Racing was second, Northwest Honda was third, H&H Racing was fourth, Airport Racing was fifth, Team Suzuki Endurance 2 was sixth, seventh was RA Racing, eighth place was Arc Bike Racing, ninth place was Post Brothers Racing, and 10th place was Canton Racing. First place in heavyweight superbike is Team Suzuki. First place in heavyweight super sport is Ohio Superbike. First place in middleweight super sport is Post Brothers Racing. Well, here comes Team Suzuki, or is this Team Suzuki 2? This is the backup team. He's now in the pits. It's like Stevie Patterson's riding. Stevie Patterson out of Detroit. Now watch how quick these guys change. 2 tires. Pull the brake calipers off, slip the other tire in, single axle, tighten it up with an air wrench, put the calipers back on, fuel, wipe up, back wheels already changed. I think this is Mr. Lopez now, is now the new rider, taking over from Steve Patterson. And with a quick tire change and fuel and rider change like that, you can see why this team is now in second place. They moved their way up. But Dave flagged me in. We're going to make a pit stop. We're going to switch riders. Remember to turn the camera on. Quick fill, it doesn't fit exactly proper yet, but like everything else, we are rookie endurance guys. And that's going to be one of the projects this winter. That's how we're going to convert this YZF 600 to be more endurance friendly. We'll be able to change tires, fill the tank a lot quicker, basically be totally ready. Maybe we'll even have a pit crew to give us a hand. Luckily, we got Mr. Young to help out and hold the fire extinguisher as Dave goes back out there. So we start the third hour. Coming into view now is number 9. It's RA Racing. They're on a 750 Yamaha. They're running third place in heavyweight super sport. That means they're running DOT tires. We got a beautiful Yamaha out there. Whoa, we turn back. Another red flag. Got a bike down. Now we're going to watch the restart. We got about 47 minutes left to the race. And I'm out there, I'm doing the restart. We start on the second row. Got Dave up here running camera for this last hour. Let's see who leads the bunch, the horde of racers. Look at this. Is that Brian Lance? Brian Lance, who used to live in Chicago, now he's moving to Atlanta, Georgia to be by the WERA headquarters, is leading on that H&H Racing, 1100 Suzuki. Like I said, I remember when Brian Lance, Stevie Patterson, and my son were running mini bikes on the road course at Grattan Raceway, and I tell you, Stevie and Brian have really turned into be some of the top riders in the country. As Brian heads down the front straightaway, leading in his final hour. As the race progresses, the tires on the Team Chicago YZF tires are done. Like I said, we're almost rookies when it comes to this endurance thing. And over the winter, I'm going to get this bike set up with quick change tires. We had 2 opportunities to change tires if I would have had extra wheels. Right-hand corners were death-defying. Left-handers, I had a good time going in the lefts. I had a little bit of tire left on the left side, but there weren't enough left-hand turns. So I was swinging across. It's like Team Suzuki's up front. Team Suzuki Endurance is up front and leading heavyweight superbikes. Second place is Team Suzuki Endurance 2. Third place, Northwest Honda Racing. Fourth place is H&H Racing. Fifth place is Ohio Superbike Racing. Sixth place is Canton Racing. Seventh place is HP Motorsports. Eighth place is Post Brothers Racing. And ninth place, Royal Racing. And 10th place is Plano Honda. Leading heavyweight superbike as I go on with my battle with my pit mate, Phil Young. I just got around him after battling with him. But first place heavyweight superbike, Team Suzuki Endurance. First place heavyweight super stock is H&H Racing. First place middleweight super stock is Canton Racing. And first place middleweight superbike is Royal Racing. As we wind down the races, the Suzuki team is out on the wall. First and second place, the 2 Suzuki teams. There's Steve Patterson. His partner Lopez is on the track. With Team Suzuki, this may be Stanton or Trey Beatty. Can't identify who's whom. As they wave to their team, Team Suzuki went on to pick up the win. H&H Racing Picked up the win in heavyweight super stock, Canton Racing in middleweight super stock, and Royal Racing in middleweight superbike. And those were the winners as the checkered flag flies at this 4-hour national endurance at Memphis Motorsport Park.
Now we're going to look at the sprint racing, including that Yamaha FZR Challenge race.
So the first race we're going to look at is heavyweight superbike for experts. It's part of the national challenge. Up front are the two McIntyre brothers, twins, and they got them turbo 900s. Up front looks like Tracy, number 111. But on that Suzuki 750 is Trey Beatty. So he makes the move in turn 3 as they head to the little jigsaw. Yeah, turbo-powered Honda really puts out some horsepower, but the thing is you got to be able to ride the horsepower. As you watch Tracy McIntyre, a good rider, but he just doesn't have the experience and the hours that a Trey Beatty has. They head through the tunnel corner or the subway corner. Now let's watch the horsepower this Honda puts out. The 900 Honda with a turbo. He almost catches Trey Beatty. Now I see a battle going on.
That's Mark Young, number 57. He's on a 1100cc Suzuki.
It's Brian Lance. He's on 1100 Suzuki also, number 57.
That's Mark Young from Lake Zurich, Illinois.
See him coming through the saw teeth. Stevie Patterson starting to make himself felt. Whoa, look who ran off the track. Trey Beatty just ran off the track now. He got back on the track. Now, do you give himself any advantage? Do you pick up any positions by running off the track? Or do you basically just get on where he came off? Well, you can't get on where he came off. That used to be a rule, but they let you get back on as long as you don't advance yourself, and I don't think he picked up any advantage. Oh, what's happening to Tracy McIntyre's bike? Looks like it's blowing oil. Is that oil coming out of its overflow? Does the turbo create oil pressure that's coming out some kind of overflow? Is it Steve Patterson sneaking by? Yeah, I think that's Stevie Patterson out of Detroit. Has just moved into second place. He's on 1100 Suzuki. Looks like Tracy McIntyre. His bike is really puffing.
McIntyre with the Honda eventually got black flag. Going on to pick up the win, it was Trey Beatty on the 1100 Team Suzuki, second place with the Mark Young. Brian Lance was third. Stevie Patterson finished in fourth place. Steve Martin finished in fifth place. Earlier, I had a chance to talk to my old friend, Brian Lance, and he's going to tell me about racing with H&H Racing on the 1100cc Suzuki.
Tell me about H&H. First of all, in the endurance, you guys won the class heavyweight super stock, and you were fourth overall. I mean, I was out there when you were out there, and you guys were really hauling. I mean, every time Team Suzuki came by, you guys were within 2 seconds behind them. So you're running a very strong race, and with the 2 restarts, it sort of bunched everybody back up again, right?
Yeah, it's this the beginning of the year was kind of bad for us. We were running a different brand of tires, and now we switched over to Dunlops, and my confidence has been way boosted up. 2 weeks ago in Portland, I got second in 1100 race, and we finished, I think, 5th overall and second class out there. And we came here, and I, with Kevin as my second rider, I knew that I had the confidence that he could go as fast as I could out there, and we could at least do good out there this weekend. And we're hoping for a podium, but Suzuki ran 2 bikes, and we were close. We were a lap down from super bikes, but you know, super stock bike. We did as best as we could.
Right. Next race we're going to look at is the Yamaha FZR 600 Novice Challenge. It's open to FZRs any year from 1989 through 1995s. Pay good money to win, and it will qualify the riders to a $20,000 race at Road Atlanta at the WERA Grand National Final. $5,000 to win. Jumping up front and hitting that rev limiter is 267. That's Jamie Hacking. Second place looks like Scott Carpenter. Andrew Raff. Looks like he might be running third. He's one of the members of the Ohio Superbike endurance team. One thing about endurance racing, you can be an amateur, novice rider and run the endurances. Jamie Hacking really has got the good lines around Memphis Motorsport Park with his WERA Yamaha FZR Challenge race. Second place, Scott Carpenter. Going on to pick up the win was Jamie Hacking. Second place was Scott Carpenter. Third place, Andrew Raff. Fourth place, Rick Rules. And fifth place was Andrew Neubauer. Next race we're going to look at is the Moto Liberty 125. It's for 125 GP bikes. Up front looks like Chris Rogers. Chris Rogers, he's on a 125 Yamaha. In fact, he's on the only Yamaha out in the field. 46. Right behind him is Paul Black on a 125 Honda. John Ulrich is out there, number 29. He's the editor of Road Racing World and Motorcycle Technology magazine, and he came back to doing road racing, and he's racing in his 125, which is a GP type class. Picked these bikes up new for about 10,000, 11,000. Good used ones for 3,000. But Chris Rogers on that 125 Yamaha is showing these Hondas the fast way around Memphis Motorsport Park. They come through the first corner. Paul Black is trying to make his move. Whoa! Hold on there. Paul Black has gone down in the fastest corner. Probably went down at over 100 miles an hour, but just slid out. Nice soft grass. Now we're going to slow it down and take a look. Let's see what happened. Did he lose the front wheel first, or did he lose the rear wheel? They used some real skinny tires here. Got the bike laid over. And his front wheel, no, it could have been his back wheel. Could have just slipped out just a little bit. I don't know if there's any oil out there. He might have hit an oil patch. He might have been a little wide. You can see there was a trace around where they cleaned some oil up earlier. But with nothing to worry about, he slid out to a nice and easy stop. Come back to the racing action. Running away with it was Chris Rogers. Second place was Mark Izzanelli. Third place was Michael Carter. And fourth place was John Ulrich, the editor of Road Racing World and Motorcycle Technology magazine. Next race we're going to look at is the Michelin 600 Super Stock for experts. And jumping up front, Kevin Renzel. He's on a 600 Kawasaki. Right behind him, though, is Ken Melville on a 600 Honda. Ken Melville's out of the Chicago area. Kevin Renzel, I think, is out of Tennessee. This might be his local track. Third place could be Ruben Frankenfield. I got to scan around. Ken Melville is trying to chase down Kevin Renzel, and Kevin Renzel, he's a real go-fast guy. but so is Ken Melville with WERA at this national championship. Ken Melville owns Airport Racing. Making the move now on that Honda is Ken Melville, now leading over Kevin Renzel. Let's see who's in third place, if we can pick that up. 35, that's Ruben Frankenfield, and he's one of the riders on Pearl Racing. But as we run out of time in this week's show, going on to pick up the win was Kevin Renzel. Ken Melville lost the brake puck and he had to pull off. Ruben Frankenfield was second, Mike Reed was third, and Joshua Kurt Hayes was fourth.
Well, that's it for this week. For more information on WERA, America's road race leader, it's WERA.com. WERA.com. Anything you want to know about road racing, go to WERA.com. To contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience. Please let me know what you think of these clips that I put up there with great motorcycle racing action. And I highly encourage you to visit Jim Kirstein's World of Motorcycle Museum. It's in Winnemac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana 39. Give him a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great selection of great motorcycles.